How's it going, everyone? It's Keith Smith Jr. from the Purpose Factory. And I wanted to come today and talk to my Purpose Factory community. Since my first video that I uploaded at the beginning of the year, I've had a lot of positive feedback, and I've heard a lot of people ask me different questions pertaining to this program, the Purpose Factory. Some of my friends and colleagues have asked, what am I doing as far as dealing with peer pressure? How am I planning on dealing with that? How do you overcome peer pressure? Some of my people that I mentor have asked me, what's your definition of success? Uh, some want to know, like, they have problems while they're going to school right now and figuring out what they want to do and how classwork is being done on Zoom and how they're acclimating to all the changes with what's going on with the pandemic still going on in 2021. It was a lot, and I kind of summed it up and brought these questions um, to a small enough field, whereas I feel like I could be able to make a video about it and just speak publicly about some of these questions that I think were great asked, and they affect everyone. Um, One of the things that one of my colleagues have asked is, what do how do you define success? They asked me that one time, and I had to sit with that for a second because as a youth, when I was younger, I felt like I aligned with having material assets, cars, jewelry, flyers, clothes. Um, that was success. But as I grew older, I realized that, you know, being able to live the life that you want to live, having true happiness and peace within yourself with the life that you're living and achieved, that's success to me now. I truly believe that. Um, that may vary from people depending on who you are and what you aspire to do, and but I do believe that at the end all for that particular situation gives you happiness and peace within your life, then I believe that's a successful life. So I wanted to answer that question for my Purpose Factory community to let them know that's how I view it, and I encourage others that if they're aspiring to look for a successful life, make sure that it's about you. Um, that leads me to another question that I came up a lot, and that's when you try to acquire success and you're trying to figure it out, you may come up against different challenges and obstacles. Like how do you deal with different challenges and obstacles? And one of the things that I hear a lot is just the peer pressure, and I say it like that because I'm trying to like hone it in, because peer pressure is so abundant all over and all around us today. You got peer pressure from parents sometimes. A lot of the times, it means just what it says: your friends, your peers, who you go to school with, who you align with, who you hang with the most, spend your time with. But lately, it's about the internet. It's about TV. It's like peer pressure comes from so many different like ways. It's like you're being bombarded like every day with what other people want to impose on what you should be doing, and what you should be like aspiring to do. So how I believe that you overcome or deal with that peer pressure is try to zone it out as much as you can. Like listen to your inner self, tap into you. I really believe like that's something that's not being encouraged enough in our community. You know, um, People always want to feel like they want to tell you what you should be, or impose the fixed mindset of, oh, if you're black, if you're brown, and you're tall, you should be basketball. If you're thick, you should be a football player. If you run fast, you should be a track star. Like that's all they align with the black and brown community is like athletes. And then when a person from our community isn't really well or good at performing as an athlete, then they start to already self doubt. And then if you come from inner city like I did, then you have all these other influences going on outside of also again certain types of success in a certain way. You know, that's where the lifestyle, selling drugs or hustling or some way, shape, or form something illegal seems appealing because you've tapped out on yourself. By the time you got to certain ages, 16, 17, 18 years old, where you're starting to make decisions for yourself now, it's like, okay, I'm not really good at that. Okay, football, basketball. My mom wanted me to go to college. I don't think that I'm cut out for being a doctor at college or engineer at college. Um, I don't really know. If the school thing is what I want to do. Maybe you're great with working on cars. Maybe you're great with cutting hair. Maybe you're artist. It's just so many different ways that you can possibly find, you know, who you are, but you have to tune out all the naysayers and all the people to be able to get to what you believe is your best self because we're all wonderfully made. We all have a superpower. And I believe that if you tap in and sit with yourself enough and just try to view yourself through the eyes of what do I do easily? What's the skill or action that I perform that I can lose time doing? I do it so well, I don't even think about it. I don't even think there's value in it. It could be cooking, whatever it may do that you just do easy, that you don't have to really think about. That could be very much your passion and purpose sitting right there in front of you the whole time. But because we give so much, energy to what people may say or what people may think, that it doesn't maybe fit what the demographics of what they feel success or what I should be doing or what I look like I should be doing. That's what's keeping us back. That's what's holding you back today from reaching your better self. So let's lock those doors down. Let's stop thinking like that. And that's why, one of the things that the Purpose Factory helps with is because we encourage people to come as you are. Just come with the idea. I do need you to sit with yourself long enough, to be able to figure out just what is that thing that you just like doing. A lot of times we're as children before we were told no, we were just naturally doing certain things and liking certain things, that if it was encouraged and given the opportunity to really flourish, we would be probably doing it as adults. But we were told no early. So we put it down and we shut it down because it didn't, again, fit whoever was raising us, our parents, our guardians, whoever may be raising us, said that it didn't fit their criteria of what it should be or what they thought you could be successful doing. So they have that fixed mindset. They impose it on you, and here we are, grown people, but lost because we never really truly listened to our own self and got to know ourselves enough to know what that meant for us. So I believe in just, sitting with yourself, tapping into yourself and asking yourself that question. What did I do as a youth that was easiest? And what did I do? What do I do now as a skill or an action that I don't even think about, that I naturally perform and I do well with, that's your superpower. I do believe that, we're all wonderfully made. We all have specialties about us. We just have to tap in, we just have to tap into that. A lot of people ask me about, what about academic uh, responsibilities and how do they manage time, life, and work, and school and life. And I believe that you have to plan your life to a certain extent. You can't just live it. That sounds good. If you're just trying to, have fun, part of your life, but that's not really what we're about, right? We want to get to our better selves. We want to be able to achieve a life that's worth having. That you can be able to acquire some sort of comfortability in your skin, right? So I think that writing down goals uh, and just giving them some sort of order in how you would like to achieve them is important. you know sometimes I know for myself that before I started to write my goals down, I was just having swimming in my head. It just wouldn't. I wouldn't have that push, to really start to work at any of them. It was kind of like I would tell somebody about it, or and that's the thing about it. Myself, I realized like I had some great ideas and times in my life, and I would share them with people around me. And you know what I would do? I would sit there and just be sitting on the idea and watch the person around me start to put it into fruition. Can you believe the feeling? It's just like, what? Like you're happy, like, yeah, that's great. But I thought of that already. And I said that to you. And it's just like that's what happens when you speak on your dream out loud, but not really ready to put in the work. Somebody else can easily come along and capitalize on your dream. So own your dreams, write them down, um, be free. Be free. Don't limit yourself. Write them down, all of them. And then when you write that long list, go back to just step one or go over your list and take out and kind of put them in order steps that you need to take to be able to make these dreams a reality. Don't overwhelm yourself for trying to make them all happen at the same time. It's impossible. Quite honestly, it's impossible. We need to work through that, and that's what the Purpose Factory is helping youth do and disenfranchised young men in the community. It helps you to get your mind right first. That's why we're talking about the path to purpose, because it is a path, you know, and you have to work at that, to try to get all the naysayers, all the negativities, all those things behind us, to try to get to moving towards finding out what that passion is or what that purpose is for ourselves as individuals. And then once we figure that out, then we write it down and start to write down the steps that we may need to be able to achieve that ultimate goal of what we want. So let's start writing down our goals, be more, deliberate about what we want in life, be free to be able to be who we want to be. And it starts by planning it. So write it down and then start to systematically every day try to find something on that list that you can achieve today where you don't need anybody's approval. You don't need anybody to help you do it. And just take that step. If it's reaching out to the Purpose Factory because you have the idea but you just don't know how to get there, then that's what this program is about. It's about helping you, that person right there in that mode where I have the idea, I figured out this is what I'm good at. I don't really know how to get this going. I don't know how to bring this into fruition. I don't know how to get myself off of A. You know, we're here to unpack that with you. Because I believe a lot of things that I went through as my progression to be able to find my purpose, I bet you it aligns with you too. You know, uh, we're all human, I realize. And although sometimes in our own homes, in our own beds, when we're all alone, we feel like what we're going through and what we're feeling uh, is just you, but it's not, I realize. It's not. But if I don't make myself visible to others that align with what I believe, then how can we, help each other? How can we grow? So this is the way that I figured that I can be able to be an asset to my community. I can be able to reach out and help those that are dealing with the same needs and struggles that I think we all are in different ways, shapes, and forms today. And I know that this program is for you. I know it is. You just have to be able to find your voice and be able to be real with yourself and say, I'm ready to find my purpose and my passion. Um, some people even ask, what is it that makes you feel like you can achieve certain things? Do you put time constraints on your goals or your dreams, Keith? And I had to answer that uh, in a two-part way because I believe that time constraints. I do use time constraints for some things, but then other goals I have, I don't use them as much because I believe they're like counterproductive. Like you may have a view of things that you want to have at some point of your life. You may have a view of your retirement of what you want to have at some point in your life, right? But how you actually achieve those things, it's a process. So I believe that I like to set small goals that allows me to gain the large victory in the end. So I don't put time constraints so much on like what I want for retirement, what I want my life to end like. I have ideas, I have visions and dreams of that, but I do focus more on the day-to-day steps that I'm taking to be able to lay those bricks one by one to eventually stand back and see my building is built. You understand what I mean? So we're writing down what we think that we want to do, our goals and aspirations. We're formulating them in a way that we're able to take steps day by day, uh, systematically to knocking down those barriers, to go up those ladders, to be able to get to the top and say, okay, I've achieved the pinnacle of success for myself, or what I wanted to be, or what I wanted my life to look like. And time constraints, they work well in those kind of ways. If you have something that you know that if you get it done faster, it'll make the next step easier. Then for that situation, then yes, set a time constraint. Like I want to finish writing this book by this date okay, because now you know that writing that book is going to get certain other parts of your life going in certain ways. It may be fixing something around your house. You want to fix it by a certain date. Like making time constraints for those kind of goals, I think are great. But just don't try to win all your wins at one time and give yourself stress, because what ends up happening is we pile it on so much it becomes like Mount Everest, and then you just stand back and you look at all your dreams and your goals and you're just like, oh my goodness, I don't think I'll ever be able to get that up there. And you know what we end up doing? Not even trying. you know. And I say it like that because that's exactly how you feel. You just feel down, you feel daunted, you feel like, oh man, I'm never gonna get there. And that just kills your spirit. Like you just don't even want it anymore. You don't even want to do what you have to do to be able to make it a possibility. And I don't want that for you. I want you to be successful. I want you to find what that thing is for you that makes you successful, that gives you that happiness and that peace. Come as you are. Leave as the you of your dreams is our mantra here you know and I'm going to continually keep on coming up here and just keep on giving you more insight, more depth on the Purpose Factory, because I eventually want you to put yourself in motion, get yourself in gear, and come through. Let's work together. Let's talk about it. Let's just try to be a family. Let's be our community together on these issues and things and ways that we can be able to better ourselves. And the Purpose Factory is here to work with you. Let's talk about it. Purpose Factory, always here to work, always here to help. Look forward to seeing you soon.